Welcome, 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 geeks and nerds, girls and boys, to a brand new episode of Geek to Me Radio. Tonight, we are launching a brand new trivia segment. Call in to win a prize if you're in the greater St. Louis area. We're launched that tonight. We've got Bill Clevlen to talk about presidential road trips. He'll have an event here at the Merrimack Valley branch of the St. Louis Library this week. Then, Janelle Brimer joins us to review Disclosure Day. All that and more. Stand by.
We're talking TV, comics and movies, and video games. And if you don't know Star Trek from Star Wars, we'll try to explain. There are 12 doctors, 4 Hogwarts houses, 1 ring rules them all. To be the greatest Pokemon master, you must catch them all. You must catch them all. Try to catch them all. Gotta catch them all. Gotta catch them all.
And if you're driving around the greater St. Louis area tonight listening to us on the Big 550 KTRS, hello to all of you out there. If you're streaming us live on YouTube and Facebook, hello! Thank you for tuning in tonight. If you're watching us after the fact in the podcast form, on whatever platform you get your podcast, we appreciate you doing just that as well. Geek to Me Radio, heard here every Sunday night on the Big 550 KTRS. I'm your host, James Enstall, launching a brand new segment this week. It's going to be taking on every single week now that we're broadcasting. We have a trivia segment, and my next guest will appreciate that very much since we hosted Bill Cleveland's Trivia Night for a while. The trivia question tonight is a chance for you to win a pair of tickets to go see Rise Up, the Hamilton Tribute Experience at the City Winery on July the 4th. So you have to be free on July the 4th. You have to live in the St. Louis area unless you want to fly in for it or drive in for it. Sure, why not? You'll get 2 tickets to go see Rise Up, the Hamilton Tribute Experience. The segment sponsored by City Winery, of course. Discover your next night out at City Winery. Enjoy live music, chef-driven dining, and award-winning wines, all in an intimate listening room setting. Learn more and buy your tickets at citywinery.com. Your trivia question, since it is about Hamilton the Musical, which Disney afternoon character was voiced by Lin-Manuel... Can't even get the guy's name right. Oh, let me buy a vowel. And I see Bill laughing at me. Lin-Manuel Miranda, which Disney afternoon character, classic Disney afternoon character, obviously in a reboot, recently happened, was voiced by Lin-Manuel Miranda. First person to call in with that answer at 314-931-5877 or text it to us on the KTRS text lines at 84126. We'll get those tickets to go see Rise Up, the Hamilton Tribute Experience at the City Winery on July the 4th. Get you out of the heat. If you're not wanting fireworks, go to a Hamilton Tribute Experience. That'll be a lot of fun at City Winery. Get some award-winning wines, have some really good food, and hang out. So there's your trivia question to kick off. What Disney character was voiced by Lin-Manuel Miranda? With that question, while we let that percolate, I'll watch the phones and I'll watch the text lines. In the meantime, my guest is waiting in the wings. You know him from KTRS. He hosted Bill Cleveland's Trivia Night for, I think we just figured out, it went off 10 years ago or 11 years ago. But it's still fondly remembered. It's where my show got its start. Bill Cleveland's on air with us. Thank you very much for being on.
And I noticed you waited 2 minutes and 32 seconds before you made your first mistake. So congratulations.
Hey, that's a record. Usually it happens when I'm given the name of the show when we first come on. So not too shabby, I got to say. So this is exciting. So obviously you quit the radio business and you went on travel. We've had you on the show a couple times now talking about all the places you've gone and seen. And this is this new book, Presidential Road Trips, is what, your 6th book, I think?
It is my 8th book.
8th book, my gosh.
Do you not have a Bill Cleveland library there at the house?
We need to start one, and then you can come visit and make it another library that you're, because you're hitting all the presidential libraries. It'll be
Good one. I'll give you a personal presentation in the living room.
yeah. But I've got several of your books, and you go to such great lengths to detail these things. You hit such interesting places. So, how long ago did you decide? Hey, let's check out all the presidential hometowns. How long ago was this from when you decided to do it to launch of the book?
Well, I did. The book's called Presidential Road Trips. It features 100 places where you can go and actually tour and walk through. It's mostly homes, but it's some quirky spots that presidents would hang out at. Some grave sites and whatever. But it's mostly homes. And so I started more than a decade ago going to these presidential sites, and after a few of them. The first one was the Ford Presidential Library up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which, boy, doesn't that scream excitement. And I thought, well, but I went through it, and I really, really enjoyed it. And what I enjoyed about it at the time, and this was, like I say, this is about 12 years ago that I went to that one, they had tools from the Watergate break-in on display. And
Wow.
I remember looking at that thinking, well, who's saving all this stuff? Like who's thinking, oh yeah, we got to put that in a file somewhere. And so I kind of like got this interest of, I wonder what other, presidential libraries and homes and wonder what else, they have to see and experience. So yeah, when I would do my travels across the country, if a presidential home or was on the way, I'd stop. And so about a year ago, a little over a year ago, I was realized like I've been to all of them except for just a small handful. I did 100 in the book, and there's I think 4 that I haven't been to personally.
Wow.
And so I decided to put together a road trip guide, and I am telling you, and I'm not just saying this so that folks will come to my event, but I have been stunned at the popularity of this topic. I am stunned how many people love presidential history and trivia, and then going to these sites and the presidential museums and the libraries and everything. I've had just amazing turnout at almost all of the events that I've done, and just from younger kids to older folks who have been to a lot of these places. It's just really been a lot of fun.
We had someone calling a minute ago, but just to let everyone know, we do have our winner to our question. Someone from the 636 area code correctly answered our trivia question. It is Fenton Crackshell Cabrera. Gizmo Duck was the answer, who Lin-Manuel Miranda voiced the character of for Disney. So congratulations. We'll be reaching out via your phone number to let you know how to get those tickets. You said the Ford Library. Now, do I understand that's right? You actually have to fall down to get inside? Is that the...
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And you know what? They don't sell my book in their library, so make all the jokes you want.
Okay. All right. It's fair game for the Ford Library.
Doesn't, but yes. Yeah.
Which one of the places you've hit, you may like, oh, I didn't really know this much about this president, or, oh, I really love this president. All that aside, which one of these sites that you visited impressed you the most? You're like, holy crap, this is really an amazing place to visit.
Well, it's funny you say that because, and I tell people this a lot, doing this over the last decade or so, when you go into the homes of these presidents, you really start to see them as human beings, which sounds so ridiculous to say, because we all have and I know you love presidential history too. We've had many discussions over the years on presidents and stuff. And yeah, you do. You have your sort of built-in viewpoints of certain presidents and whatever, certainly now, right? But like when you're standing in their living room, or in their bedroom, and you're learning about, what they did at night and how they did, hang out with their families and just all this stuff, you do kind of start to see them as like just regular, normal people. Which I think is really important for folks to experience.
Yeah.
And so, but my favorite, I don't really have a favorite. I will tell you, one of my personal bucket list items was going to the FDR home in Hyde Park. I just heard a lot about it over the years. And I wouldn't say I was a huge FDR fan necessarily, but I went to the house and it was just super cool. One of the interesting things I have in my presentation that I'll do on Thursday night is I show you the elevator that FDR used in his home, and he was terrified that he would be trapped in the elevator either from fire or electricity going out or whatever. So they had a pulley system built into this elevator. So whenever FDR wanted to go to bed at night, he had to pull himself up in the elevator up to the
Wow.
second floor while he was in his wheelchair, and then I guess again back down to the first floor the next morning or whatever. But little stuff like that you see up close and in person, I think is just really cool. But I loved them all. I thought all of the spots were really offer something interesting and unique.
Did you get a chance to see the Reagan Presidential Library? Because I understand that that's a very impressive site.
It is, yeah. I've been to all the presidential libraries. Of course, now with the Obama one opening, I have to go see that to make sure to keep my,
Oh, yeah.
keep my scorecard adjusted.
Get 'em all.
Yeah, the Reagan Library is really neat. That's in Simi Valley, California. Beautiful, just this huge wall of windows, essentially, that you're looking out. So there's an Air Force One. It's not technically suspended from the ceiling, but it looks that way. And as you're looking at the Air Force One, you see this just incredible view of Simi Valley, California, out the window. And yeah, you walk through the plane, you see his presidential limousine, of course, lots of exhibits, and all of the presidential libraries have really cool stuff. Like, I always tell people, this is the place, these are the places to go if you really want to learn about American history, because they've saved all these things. And it's super cool to see it all in person.
And for those of you just now tuning in, we're talking with Bill Clevlen, author of his 8th book now, this one on presidential road trips. If you want to check out things, there it is right there for those of you watching. There's a picture of the book. He'll have copies of these available for his event on Thursday, June 18th at the Merrimack Valley branch of the St. Louis County Library. That's free to attend. So you can 6:30 p.m. free to attend. You can go there. You can buy a copy of his book. He'll be doing when these events, you typically do them. Is it just Q&A, or are you one of those authors? I'm going to read a selected chapter of my book.
God, those people. Jiminy Christmas.
How do the events operate for you?
Let me tell you something. If somebody's listening right now and they're thinking, there is no way in hell I'm going to a library, this is something you would enjoy, because I'm telling you right now, I hear about this stuff. Oh, come listen to author such and such at the library. I'm not going to that crap. So my presentations are geared for people like me that do not want to go to the library. I'm really fortunate. I work with the Smithsonian now, and so once or twice a year, I do presentations for them on travel. And so I put together really fun, good stories, lots of good information, but videos. So I kind of take you behind the scenes of some of these homes, and it's really a lot of fun. It really is fun. Like, I've done this now over and over, like I said, since January. I started on the West Coast, and I don't get tired of it, because it's really a lot of fun, and you learn a lot of interesting things. And I'm not over exaggerating this point. Like, if you do not like, if you hear, author at the library and think, yeah, let me get as far away from that as I possibly can, you will really enjoy this, because it's the complete opposite of anything you've ever heard about at a library.
So,
sorry, library people. Yeah.
There you go. And we've got one of our listeners is texting in, John Poe. He's already bought your book. He says, love the book a lot. So you've already got one of endorsement right there from someone who's read the book and who listens to this show. So they're probably not in their right mind, but still, if it's that's a double-edged sword there, John, just so you know. But no, thank you, John. I'm kidding. We appreciate that. And our friend BK on the air is listening from Cartersville, Georgia as well, and says hello. Hello, BK.
Hey.
This with the books you're doing as you're traveling, all this being your 8th book. Where does the idea for, hey, you know what, this would make a good book? As you're traveling and all this, you've written now 8. How do you come up with the next one? Is it something you see, something you experience, and say, hey, there's probably something here that I should explore more? Where does the idea come from?
Right. Well, I've already written my 9th one, so I already know what that's going to be. I'm not ready to unveil it yet, but it's also a lot of fun. It's a really fun topic. I like to find interesting things that I think normal people would enjoy. And I also think about, again, back to this presentation that I do, I also think, okay, can I do an hour-long presentation where I'm sharing stories and I'm able to kind of convey the things that I've learned while I've written these. So, I mean, I'm not writing like, these are easy to read books. That's another thing. I always tell people, I write books for people that don't like to read. And so I'm they're all easy to digest. You learn good stuff. But I mean, as far as the topics go, like, yeah, I like to have fun. I like to keep things lighthearted. And as you know, we did trivia for a long time. So
Yeah.
I like little trivial stuff. Yeah, so I don't know if that answered your question, but.
No, it did. I'm just kind of, like I said, I was just, so you've already got the 9th book written.
Yeah.
Like it's off to the publisher to be done.
No, it's done. It's all ready. It's ready to go.
Wow.
It's on the interweb, and when I say it's time to go, it'll be ready to be printed. Yeah.
So do you have an expected launch date, or you're still couple things you're holding off on?
No, I mean, it's done. It's edited, it's ready to go. But I don't know. So sometimes they tell me. So this particular book, this presidential road trips book, I was going to launch in February for President's Day because I had the thing with the Smithsonian on President's Day, and I was like, that'd be great. But then people were like, oh, you know what? You're going to miss out on those Christmas sales. So I ended up pushing it, forward, and I released it in November of last year. So I may do that again with this other book because it was, I did get quite a few sales for Christmas. But when I did a children's book as well, I'm going to hold it up to the camera so everybody on Highway 270 can see this.
Turn to the left, please.
Listening. It's called Funny Presidents, and it's a children's book, and it's all about just quirky things that presidents did during their time in the White House. And there's this little segment that I do during my presentation that folks can see on Thursday night at the library. And it kind of goes along with it. But, it's just silly things that presidents, nothing like too deep. It's just kind of a fun way to introduce kids to presidents without boring them or being political or anything like that. And so I let my young nephew, who's I think just turning 7, he read it the other day. I had him read it. I didn't tell him I wrote it. And about halfway through, he looks up to me and goes, "This is really funny." And I said, "Oh, thank you, Jesus."
Your nephew's name is Jesus? That's weird.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, Jesus. But, and so, so I'm very excited about that one, too. And I'll have copies of those at the event.
Who did the illustration? Is it illustrated? I saw the picture on the front. Is the whole thing illustrated?
It's illustrated. It's not artist illustrated. I use the computer to do it, but
Okay.
I know some people are very anti AI and that sort of thing. But let me tell you, it ain't as easy as it sounds. It took me a long, long time to get things exactly the way that I wanted it, but it turned out really cute. And I think and kids really get a kick out of it. But I mean, stuff like who knew George Washington was like this amazing dancer? So there's an illustration of George Washington on the disco floor, doing like a John Travolta pose, or
doing the Elaine.
Abraham Lincoln was this like award-winning wrestler, So you got images of Lincoln wrestling people, and so it's just kind of fun, lighthearted.
Well, the stuff between JFK and Abraham Lincoln, some of those similar.
Oh, James, Jiminy Christmas, James. See, you're going to have to scrub this from the internet now. I can't have people at the Smithsonian flipping by and going, "Oh, you're on this guy's show. He's telling these."
No,
you know what? God bless you. You haven't changed in 20 years.
Well, thank you. Obviously there were many similarities. There was kind of the two presidents were assassinated 100 years apart. Both were in the Senate 100 years apart. It was very, very eerie, the different similarities between the two presidents. But no, it's. I think I would assume that with the country celebrating its 250th birthday here next month, have you seen a bit of an increase in sales for the book? Because this is the perfect time to be pitching it, I think.
It is, yeah. That was not in my like most things. I don't. My plans don't go that deep. But it worked out great because yes, there's this renewed interest in America and American trivia and things like that. And so it's been awesome. And it's really allowed me to do. Good grief. Last week I did 4 events. This week I'm doing 5.
Wow.
I'm traveling all over the country. And it's been great because all of these places, museums, libraries, different things, a lot of historic sites, presidential sites are having me, but they're, they all have America 250 themed plans. So it's like I slid right into all of that stuff. And so, yes, it's been very, very helpful. Absolutely.
I can imagine. And again, if you're just now listening, the book, hold it up again so the people watching can see it.
You bet.
The book, if you're listening,
watching on Highway 44.
That's right. Yeah. Don't go going southbound in the northbound lanes. Presidential Road Trips. This is his 8th book. So if you're a history buff if you're just a fan of presidential trivia, if that kind of thing interests you, or maybe you're like, hey, you know what? I've got a kid graduating, going to college. They're going to go study political science. It's a nice graduation gift for that particular student. It's and
I had a guy. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I had a guy yesterday I met at the Ulysses S. Grant home where I was speaking, and he came up to me and he said, "You know what? I just retired, and I've always wanted a road trip. And now I have the time, got the money, I'm off." And he's like, "I don't know where to start, you know?" And so he got the book, and so I think some of my other books, to kind of give him some ideas for places to go. And because a lot of people, they want, their whole lives, they're like, you're working hard, they're putting away the money, and then it's time to go. And they're like, where do I go? Where do I, And so I think it's helpful for people who are in that boat as well, kind of gives them a little guidance to get started.
And Nick Hagan is listening or watching right now. It says so. He used to work for you, Bill. He probably didn't. You were just saying that you took him on his roller coaster ride.
I remember that. Yeah. That was Nick is a smaller fellow, and I took him on a roller coaster, and I probably should. I think the statute of limitations has run out on that. So
he was unharmed. Just for those who
he was unharmed. Yeah.
But he is also watching. Hello to Nick. Trying to keep a better eye on the another Bill, and not you, Bill, but another Bill is watching right now and says, "Beat me to it," for the I assume the Hamilton tickets. But yeah, do you have your other books available for sale at the event? I know some authors show up, it's just the one book they're promoting. Some of them have like their 4 or 5 past releases. If people miss out some of your other books, are you going to have some of those with you at the Thursday event?
I'm not strong enough to carry that many boxes. I think sometimes we'll bring some, but they're all at BillOnTheRoad.com if folks haven't had a chance to look at my website recently or you've never checked it out. There's a whole tab on there, and they're all listed. Folks can check it out. And then there's stories on there about travel and a lot of video and things like that. So, yeah, it's pretty great that I get to travel all over the country. I do miss coming into the studio every Saturday night. Oh, wait a minute. No,
I was going to say, really?
It's nice to not be constrained to one place and to be more flexible. But yeah, sometimes I miss it.
Yeah, it's always one of those things. If you don't do it long enough, there's kind of that nostalgic factor. Because I know it was a lot of fun. It was probably been 2 years ago, I think, that I had you and Nikki and Nick in studio to do some trivia. So that's already been 2 years ago.
We didn't have anything like you're now. Folks who may not know, I guess they know. I don't know. I'm literally I'm not in studio right now. I'm joining you via the interweb, the www interweb, and you've got this cool little program that has got you're on YouTube and Facebook and different things, and yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's
Maybe
fun.
This didn't exist when I was doing.
I know, having the video aspect of this, that was all Joey V, my executive producer. That was all his idea. He said, "What if we did video too?" So it's kind of nice people can see my guests and be a little more interactive with them. So yeah, that's kind of fun.
It is cool. It's really cool. Congratulations.
Thank you. So where are your travels taking you to next? I know you said you've got this event. You've got events this week, and then where are you off to? Is it still the book tour? Or do you have other?
Yeah, all year long doing. Yeah, you got to strike while the iron's hot, man. That's one thing I've learned. Just keep going. So next week will be fun. I have an event at the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum in Springfield. I'm speaking there on Wednesday night, I think, Wednesday or Tuesday night. And then the following night, I will be at the Benjamin Harrison Presidential Home in Indianapolis, Indiana. Which, if you don't know who Benjamin Harrison is, you're like, what a bore. But, honest to God, though, seriously, I never in a million years would have imagined I'd be speaking in the homes of presidents, so to me, I think I'll go to any of them. I think it's cool. And so, staying busy doing that. And, yeah.
While we're on the topic of presidents, did you have a chance to see the Netflix series Death by Lightning?
I haven't. I don't have Netflix, and I don't usually have a television. So, but who is it? Who is
It's about James Garfield. It's about his becoming the nominee, becoming president, and then governing very briefly before his assassination. It's got.
I'll have to watch that.
Oh, now the names are escaping me. It's Michael Shannon, who was Zod in Superman: Man of Steel, and it's Matthew McFadden from Succession. He plays the killer, but it was terribly well done. If you get a chance to watch it, I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I've been to the house. It's in Cleveland, and it's interesting that home, and I'm sure they talk about this. They started what they call the front porch campaigns.
Yeah.
They're on his front porch, which was pretty interesting. And James, I'll tell you a little sneak peek for my presentation. So at the end, near the end, I go into Garfield's grave. And I don't know if they show that in the documentary or not, but it is unbelievable. I mean, it looks like King Tut should be buried in this thing. And I don't know why it's so grandiose. Maybe because he was assassinated so close to Lincoln. You know, he was the second president assassinated. And so I don't know what it was, but they raised a lot of money and they built this thing. And I'm telling you, when you see it, and I have video, you know, so I'm showing drone footage and I go inside and everything. It is unbelievable. And it is totally worth checking. I mean, to me, it's even better than the Lincoln tomb in Springfield.
Really?
You know?
Wow.
Oh no, it is off the charts. Like you would not believe it.
Huh.
So I know a little bit about Garfield.
Okay, yeah. So you'll probably enjoy the movie or the series. It's just a 4-part series. So if you find yourself in a hotel or someplace that has Netflix available, that's one I'd put on your list for sure. I think you'd really enjoy it.
Sweet, I'll check it out.
And again, if you're listening and want to check something very cool out, it is 6:30 p.m. on June the 18th, this coming Thursday. If you haven't had the chance to meet Bill before, good luck.
Boy, are you in for a treat.
What's that?
I said, boy, are you in for a treat.
And of course, if you do know Bill and you miss Bill being in St. Louis, here's your chance to go harass him and get to see him again. Buy the copy of his book, Presidential Road Trips. You can pick that up from him right there. He will sign it for, I think it's a $30 fee is what you charged me last time. So
no, it didn't come out. You don't have to buy the book if you don't want to. If you just want to watch the presentation, that's fine too. I'd love to have a great crowd. The gal that's the librarian there at the Merrimack Valley Ranch in Fenton, she's a really nice lady. She's been very nice to me over the years and has had me speak at a couple of the libraries she's managed. So I'd like to give her a good send-off. And,
she retiring?
I still got it. Yeah, she's retiring.
Oh, how about that? Okay.
Yeah, good for her.
So yeah, good. That's us. So yeah, there's another reason to go out and see it then. So yeah, check it out. Again, we'll have links to that if you're listening to this podcast after the fact in the show notes. Scroll down to the bottom of the page, and there in the show notes we'll have a link to the event for the St. Louis Merrimack Valley branch, where you can go see that. It is free to attend once again, so feel free to come out, support a local author, and find out some cool presidential trivia, and get a cool gift for a graduate or someone whose birthday is coming up, or just to celebrate the America's, I almost said bicentennial, but that was 50 years ago. 250, a sesquicentennial. There we go. I pronounced that, but I couldn't get Lin-Manuel Miranda earlier, so who knows. But anyway, it's always a pleasure to see you. And again, BillOnTheRoad.com, best place for people to keep up with you.
Yeah, BillOnTheRoad.com. Facebook is probably the social media one I do the most. So Bill on the Road on Facebook as well. And I'm on the McGraw Overnight Show.
That's right.
America at Night. I do a segment with him once a week on Thursday nights. And he's very gracious, gives me more time than I need, to be honest with you. And it's nice. I'm able to kind of profile some of the places that I go to and share travel tips and things like that with folks listening. And that airs on this station as well.
There you go. Two hits of Bill Clevlen on KTRS for you in 1 week. What more could you ask for? It's always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so much once again. Real quick before we let you go, another question just came in from our listener. John wants to know what president do you find the most interesting?
Oh, most interesting. Well, the one that has the best stories is probably not the one that I would pick for most interesting. Lyndon Johnson has the best stories.
Yes.
Of all the stories, I mean, I'm a storyteller. I love telling stories. Lyndon Johnson, this guy, and I'll tell you cut me off if you have to go. My favorite Lyndon Johnson story. I don't tell this at my event. This is not one that I tell. But if you have never heard the audio of Lyndon Johnson ordering Hager pants while sitting on the toilet inside of the West Wing, it is unbelievable. And he would let people, I shouldn't say let people, he would have media people in interviewing him or whatever. And if he had to go to the bathroom, he'd just go and leave the door open while he's on the can. and talking to people. I mean, this guy was unbelievable. There's a book called In the President's Secret Service, and one of the few books I've read, and, and they talk about Johnson and some of the things that he did. And there was a Secret Service agent that had a great quote. They said, "If Lyndon Johnson had not been president, he would be in a mental institution." But I mean, from a storyteller's perspective, it's great because there's so much to tell, and I do tell a couple of really funny stories about Johnson with video that goes along with it at my event. So yeah, that's my pick.
There you go. So that's worth the price of the free admission right there for the Lyndon B. Johnson stories.
Yeah.
Bill Clevlen, always great to talk to you, my friend. Thank you very much for doing the show tonight, and we will look forward to seeing you on Thursday.
All right, sounds good, man.
All right,
good show. See you.
Thanks. See you. Take care. Okay. There he goes, Bill Clevlen. We're going to take a very brief commercial break. We're going to come back in just a moment, and we will be joined by Janelle Brimer. We'll be talking Disclosure Day. We'll give you our thoughts on that movie along with Joey V. You're listening to Geek to Me Radio on the Big 550 KTRS. Please stand by.
So if you see us in your neighborhood and you find out we're not what you think we are, you're the best bunny ever. Purr? You're not a bunny. You're a cat. Don't tell, okay? Don't worry. It'll be our secret.
The Pretenders from Fisher-Price. Squeeze them and they really purr.
Wampa! Hot Wampa Cave! Look's inside! It connects to Hot Iron Cannon.
Introducing Hoth World, 3 play sets in 1, new from Star Wars Micro Collection line. 19 die-cast figures and action poses included.
Closed doors. Race tower. Activate iron cannon. Connected to Hoth generator attack. Scoutwalkers hit. Target generated. The world of Hoth is now. Yeah!
Hoth World from Star Wars Micro Collection line. Play sets also sold separately, figures included, new from Kenner.
You can wish upon a star fairy.
I've been so busy granting wishes, I'm tired. Well, let's fly home to the land of wish come true, and you ride Lavender.
Lavender, the magical unicorn, Jazz and True Love, each sold separately.
Hi guys, it's Emily Swallow. I have 2 things to tell you, one of which is this is the way, and you are listening to Geek to Me Radio.
Welcome back to the show, Geek to Me Radio. I'm your host, James Enstall. Let me tell you about our premier sponsor, the Greater St. Charles Convention and Visitors Bureau. You know the website, discoverstcharles.com. If you want to go out and have some fun, the weather is warming up. It's a great time. People are wanting to get more. I saw so many people outdoors the past week, and people are just out walking. They've got their dogs they're walking with, they're bike riding, and that can all be your time in St. Charles. You can go get a bike from the Bike Stop Cafe. They rent them there. You can start with a little lunch, rent a bike, and head out and bike ride the Katy Trail. You take your dog for a walk up and down the historic cobblestones. It's a very dog-friendly area because they've all got their little water bowls out in front of most of the establishments. So if the dog gets thirsty as he's walking that 20-block area, then he can just stop and grab a drink when he wants. Plenty of places for you to get some refreshment, too. These are all local businesses. So whether or not you're wanting maybe an iced coffee and some macarons from Sugar and Slice, maybe you decide you want to pop in the patio and get a bourbon at the main house or wherever it is you want to do. They've got a bourbon for breakfast drink at Novellis that I highly recommend if you're out in the want to get a little bit of the morning going and start your day with some bacon and some bourbon. That's a great drink for you. There's Insomnia Cookies. There's all these great places up and down the street where you can grab coffee, you can grab a snack, you can grab lunch, dinner, whatever it might be that you're wanting. And then all the businesses, all these really cool places where you can get gifts. Graduation season is in full swing. If you're looking for something unique to get somebody, you can go to the Cozy Shop. You can go to First Capital Trading, Inc. You can get a gift card to the Soda Museum and Main Street Arcade for someone who likes to play some vintage arcade games. All sorts of possibilities up and down the street. And, of course, get out and hit the bricks with their Hit the Bricks tour. If you want to learn something about the St. Charles area and the Main Street area specifically, you can go to the Visitor Center, sign up for one of their tours there. Their Hit the Bricks tours. Those are always a lot of fun, run by very knowledgeable people. As a tour guide, you can go out and get to know the street a little more intimately. Just check out the website. Start your trip there. DiscoverStCharles.com. That's DiscoverStCharles.com. As we always say, it's an historically good time. So another movie comes out. We've got Janelle Brimer joining us again, because we love her opinions on movies, especially when they align with mine. And we've got Joey V also here, and Joey V and I haven't discussed the movie yet, and I stopped from seeing his Letterboxd review because I want to be surprised by what he says. So, Janelle, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us again.
Hi, how are you?
Good, good. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I was telling Joey before we went on air, I left that screening that all three of us attended, and I walked out thinking, oh, gosh, I must have missed something. I'm not smart enough to understand this movie because I didn't like it at all. And there's probably some big thing that went right over my head. And I didn't even give my review to Mousy, who was there. I said, I don't want to be the guy who disses a Steven Spielberg movie. And then slowly I start seeing everyone's review where I'm like, holy crap, everyone hated this movie. I'm not alone.
Yeah, the first thing I said to Elliot, another reviewer who we all kind of sit with, is I turned to him and I said, were you incredibly bored by this as well? And he was like, oh, my God, I was. And then the reviewer sitting next to him, Jarrell, said, I never in my life did I ever think that I would sit in a Steven Spielberg movie and wait for and just like, please let this end.
Yeah.
Like it's all of us were just incredibly disappointed by it. It's yeah.
Joey, you and I haven't really talked about it too much, but I think from what I gathered, you liked it a little better than I did because I gave it a 2-star review on Letterboxd. What were your initial thoughts?
I'm going to give the plot real quick just to get everyone caught up. Disclosure Day is about a shadowy government agency chasing a whistleblower across the Midwest.
It's not government agency, though.
Well, they are contracted. I believe they're contracted through the government. They have all the government files.
That's true.
Disclosure Day is about a shadowy government agency chasing a whistleblower across the Midwest in order to stop him from releasing files to the public that prove aliens exist. At the same time, there's a Kansas City, Missouri weather woman that has developed some interesting talents. Fate brings them both together. And I think we're all going to agree on the same problems that the movie has, but I did give it a 4 because I just had a lot of fun with it.
4 stars?
Yeah.
Really? Oh,
4
my
out of 5.
gosh, you're so generous.
And if you double it, that's an 8 out of 10, James. I don't want to let the audience have to do math out there.
Okay.
I would understand a 4 out of 10, but not a 4 out of 5.
Because I think initially that's what caught my eye was you put on Instagram. You said, yeah, I think I give it a maybe 2.5, maybe 3. And I said, boy, you're being generous. Because I even thought that was what was your final estimation star-wise?
I ended up giving it a 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I will say this. Had the movie come out about 30, 35 years ago, it would have been a good movie.
Yeah.
This movie felt incredibly dated. Let's start off with the premise, with the fact that he was rushing or they were going to release this information on TV. No one would do that in 2026. He had all the files with him. That stuff would have been released on 4chan, on Reddit, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. The last thing he's going to do is go to some small Midwest town. I hate to say that about Kansas City, but it's not like he rushed to Chicago or New York or Los Angeles. He rushed to Kansas City to release the information that he had with him the entire time. And and those corporate goons were so bad. And the sneaking up on them and was so bad. And them running into a concrete pylon that was it was so bad. Again, great 30, 35 years ago. Today, it just did not work. The CGI even looked worse than the dinosaurs in 1993.
We've got our friend Joe T. Sturdy from the 314 area code saw Disclosure Day today and thought it was okay. Project Hail Mary is still the best movie I saw this year. Project Hail Mary is probably going to be in my top 5. I would agree there. But for me, I read up on this because this is from the same team, mind you. This is Steven Spielberg and David Koepp. So these are the people combined who brought us Jurassic Park and who brought us Jurassic Park 3. Where you fall on the scale or not, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which as I'm leaving the movie screening, I thought, boy, this would make a great double feature if you start with Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and then followed up with this. That's like your, I'm never going to see another movie again for the rest of my life, double feature right there. But I mean, on his own, he wrote Mission Impossible. He did the 2002 Spider-Man movie. he also did Dial of Destiny. So again, maybe I'm not giving David enough credit, but it seems like I said, if I didn't know Steven Spielberg's name was attached to this, I would not have believed it, because it was just like you pointed out, the inept. I felt like it was a scene from E.T., like the inept government agency or shadow government adjacent agency. I'm not going to start a fight between you two. That, we're bumbling. We're tripped up by kids on bicycles. It was the same kind of thing. And then the levels of incredulity that we had, the device that is supposed to be, no one can touch this, kept changing what it's capable of doing every time. Like, it allows Colin Firth's character to appear where he isn't actually and enter someone's mind just randomly if you see a picture of the person whose mind you want to enter. And later on, she's able to use it to turn everyone around her invisible. Later on, she's able to use it to give power to a station that's been powered down twice. Backup generator, main generator lost. So it was just these objects are just a clever plot device, which really bugs the crap out of me when there are no clearly established rules as to what a certain thing can or cannot do.
Yeah, and it was weird because Humphrey's like, absolutely nobody can squeeze this, and the one guy does, and he poofs, and you think, oh my gosh, you're right, maybe it kills them. That's terrible. And then the guy reappears, so you're like, okay, so there's no consequence to squeezing this thing because I just poof for a second and then reappear.
Yeah.
Again. And then it's like, again, like you were saying, is the one where she makes everybody the heat signatures that everybody could have followed on that iPad.
Right.
To see them climbing into a truck was incredulous. Like when that one disintegrated, I mean, like, okay, that one disintegrated. And then the main one where Josh O'Connor's character was warning everybody, his girlfriend, do not touch, whatever you do not open this thing, do not look at it, do not touch upon it. And the only thing Emily Blunt does with it is turn the power on in the TV station. And I thought, this is so lame.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? This is not good, guys. This is not good.
And I hadn't thought about, so you just brought up the point about they do look at the iPad and they see a bunch of people crowded around one person and heat signatures. They don't share that information with any of the other agents. Two things. A, wouldn't have been, hey, we need to stop these people, open fire directly in front of you. That would have been a quick way if an agency was smart enough and wanting to just eliminate the threat. Also, that fire truck hadn't been there that long. Wouldn't they see a heat signature on the engine of the fire truck and realize, oh, there's a big truck there too? That's kind of weird.
The whole thing was amazing and not in the best way. Like, it was just every scene you were asked to, like, take your suspension of disbelief and just ratchet it up a little bit more. And I think most people that haven't seen it yet are going to be actually kind of disappointed with, it's really advertised as this alien movie, and of course, Disclosure Day, but 90 to 95% of that movie is just about a whistleblower trying to evade the corporation.
Right.
You really don't even really get into the alien-ish, because, I mean, like, you're really just dealing with Emily Blunt being weird throughout the movie and no explanation for it. And then by the time you get to the explanation for it, you don't even really care, because the explanation that they give as far as these two rando aliens and these two rando people and what the powers they're given, you've checked out by then.
So Joey, with you having liked it as well as you did, was there anything that she and I have mentioned that did give you kind of that's kind of a suspension of disbelief thing? What were the nitpicky things that you weren't able to come over it to get a 5-star rating?
Well, I would say that everything that was the mystery being unfolded, I did like. I was confused and curious the whole time. And even at the end, it kind of leaves you wondering, well, what happens next? So I actually enjoyed that. I understand why people may not like that. I've heard a lot of complaints about Colin Firth's performance in general, where it's very over the top and smarmy. I think the problem with that is Colin Firth never plays an evil guy. And it is strange seeing him look so evil. And he looks exactly like Ted Cruz. He's got the werewolf pork chops. So liberal viewers may not be able to handle this guy chasing down aliens because it's a little too real. But I think the reason why he was so angry is because he actually went to Hazelwood West in real life.
He did. That's true.
And he hated being back in Missouri because he was actually bullied when he went to Hazelwood West. So just having to even pretend to be in Missouri, even if they were filming in Atlanta, that just made his performance so angry thinking about the wedgies and the swirlies that he had to deal with. I actually wish that Steven Spielberg would move to Missouri full-time because Kate Capshaw, his wife, went to Hazelwood Central.
She did.
He needs to fix the problem with our film credits. This Jason Bateman character keeps going on Atlanta to make Ozark and DTF St. Louis, and it's infuriating. And I feel like more of this movie needed to be in Kansas City than it was. I bet you, because when I saw the credits roll and it said New Jersey, I was like, where were they? Were they actually filming the Indiana and the Illinois scenes in New Jersey? That makes me so mad.
That wouldn't surprise me, at least.
That's I was going to say, I don't think any of it was filmed around here at all.
No, not that I saw anything of it, which is, again, disappointing how we're kind of featured, but it's like, we're not actually.
Emily Blunt's Patronus, or her spirit animal, is a cardinal as well. Obviously, Steven Spielberg wants to move here. Just do it already.
He should.
Loser.
Bring Kate home, Steven. That's what we're trying to say.
And there was a little love. They showed the Royals logo at the very end as well. You had to. I guess legally they had to show the Royals logo.
It's a legal requirement if they're going to mention Kansas City. But no, that's we still have more to talk about. So if you're listening right now, stick around. I do need to take another quick commercial break. So stand by one moment. We're going to talk a little bit more about Disclosure Day. If you've seen it, send us a text on the KTRS text lines, 84126. Let us know, yay or nay, how many stars you gave it. What were your thoughts on Disclosure Day? We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Geek to Me Radio on the Big 550. Please stand by.
The magical light, visionary, with magical powers they fight, visionary.
Dagger, fall, forward, quick, warn Spectral Knight, it's the Dark Lord, Capture Chariot to the rescue.
Visionary, light in the magical light. Visionaries from Hasbro.
Protect space from all evil.
Hot Wheels Race 2, Gyro 2.
Figures with weapon birds sold separately.
Now with Steel Will they face Evil Monster and Sky Shadow. Attack, Stronghold, Landon, Power Wings. Oh, stop! I've got Steelheart and Razor. No way. I'll still win. Never.
Steel Will with Stronghold, Monstar with Sky Shadow, and other figures with weapon birds sold separately. Silverhawks, new from Kenner.
Only one man is tough enough to stop the evil outlaw Tic Tacs. He's Brave Star. Neutral laser and laser fire figures sold separately.
You're a buster, Tic Tac. My laser fire backpack makes me unstoppable. Your history, Brave Star. Never. Think you're tough enough for my neutral laser cannon? Watch this.
This is John Glenn, and you're listening to Geek to Me Radio.
Welcome back to the show, Geek to Me Radio, every Sunday night right here at 9 p.m. Central on the Big 550 KTRS. Want to make sure we tell you about our brand new sponsor, HW Kia of West County. I've sold Darren 2 cars now. It's the most reasonable offers I've received. When you shop your car around when you're going to sell it, you look at kellybluebook.com, get an idea of what it goes for. And it was a very seamless, easy, and fair transaction. Took my car out to Darren, and he bought both of them, my mom's PT Cruiser and my Mustang when I had to sell at the beginning of COVID. If you are interested at all, whether you've got a car to sell, or maybe you're in the market for a new car. I know a lot of people going off to graduation and want to make sure they get their child, or they're 18, they're going off to college, a reliable car. Check out HW Kia of West County. They are located at 14116 Manchester Road in Manchester, Missouri. You can call them at 636-591-2900. They've got used cars for sale as well. Obviously, he buys cars, so they sell used cars as well. A huge selection of new Kia inventory. Their service department is incredible. If you've got a problem with your car, Darren's going to make sure it's running right before it ever leaves the parking lot. You can check out their service center and more. HWKia.com, the website. Find your new car at HW Kia of West County. Go out and tell them you heard about it on Geek to Me Radio. Ask for Darren, whether you're buying or selling. Let him know that you want to talk to him, and he'll put you in a new car. I've seen him work with people who think, gosh, credit-wise, I'm not sure I can actually get into a new car. He knows people. He'll be able to work with whatever budget you've got, get you into a car that's going to be just right for you. So I highly recommend going to talk to Darren before you give up on your dreams of getting a new car or a new used car at HW Kia of West County, 14116 Manchester Road, or call them at 636-591-2900. talking about the new movie Disclosure Day. And Joey V is at 4 stars. Janelle's at 2.5. I'm sitting at the 2-star mark. What I know, one of the things that bugged me too, I was just thinking there's so many things that they put out there and never get back around to. I felt like there were plot elements that were just out there and didn't ever get brought back to the center. And I kept thinking, gosh, it's kind of a mess. I looked this up online. Evidently, David Koepp went through 42 drafts of screenplays to get to what we got. And I'm thinking maybe he should have stopped at number 8. I'm not sure if he just kept muddying the waters and didn't, well, we did this with this, well, we'll pull this in for this draft of the script. I don't know if that was an issue, but I'm kind of thinking that had to have been an issue.
It was just a very, the thing is, with the movie, you did feel like, oh, this scene kind of gives me the vibes of, like, let's say Jurassic Park, or this reminds me of E.T. or Indiana Jones. Unfortunately, they all came together and made just a very watered down version of his greatest movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when you would hear John Williams' score, you would be like, it would elevate some scenes a little bit better than probably what they were. But again, then you were just reminded, oh, this is what this isn't. And like, this just isn't going to be up there with his greatest movies. It's, you don't want to, I even hesitate to say it's an okay movie, but it's forgettable. It's dull. It's just not up there with the greatest. Like somebody said, if it was an M. Night Shyamalan movie, it would be rated at 27% on Rotten Tomatoes and nobody would be blinking. But it's like, I feel like everybody's kind of hesitant to do this to Spielberg when,
right. Yeah, that's
it. You know.
And Joey V, do you have any main encapsulating things you kind of, if you were going to recommend or tell people who were on the fence about seeing the movie, what would you say that would convince them, yes, you should definitely go see this?
Spielberg is 79. John Williams is 94. They're going to be dead next year. You need to see this movie in honor of them. And it's just a shame that John Williams, he's never going to catch Walt Disney, because John Williams has 54 nominations, and I believe Disney has 59. I mean, if only we could keep him alive a few more years longer so he can break Disney's record. And the chase scenes are some of my favorite I've ever seen in Spielberg's. If you've gone back to his early career, Duel and the Sugarland Express, they are just straight chase movies for an hour and a half to 2 hours. And these scenes in here with the chase on the train and with the cars, I had a lot of fun. I had that Spielberg look everyone talks about where your mouth is open and your eyes are wide when I was watching that train chase scene, and I recommend that.
See, for me, that even the train chase scene was kind of, there's so many times when people are trying to escape, they're trying to get on a train, someone's after them. I think of the, like we just had the John Glenn return liner there, the James Bond movie Octopussy. Or if you're doing, like the chase on the train from Great Train Robbery or all sorts of other movies like that. This one was okay, but like the only tense moment I had was when the guy was shooting at them from the road. I think, oh, he's probably going to clip one of them. Maybe they'll be wounded. But this crack government agent couldn't even shoot at two people who were essentially standing still because he's pacing the train. And it just seemed like he'd shoot the car out from underneath them or do something. The same problem at the end of, and again, maybe some spoilers here, but I don't think it's really a spoiling. The scene when they're finally in the studio and she uses the device to power up the entire TV station, and Colin Firth's character resignedly just sits down and like, oh, okay, that's it. And if they really didn't want this getting out, they got the agent right there who's like, you're just going to let this happen? I was expecting him to pull out his gun and just shoot Emily Blunt and be done with her, or shoot the alien. That would have been a more satisfying ending, like, oh my gosh.
100%.
Bloodlust.
And let's go back to the train scene. There was a part, and I was like, I rolled my eyes and actually chuckled because it was so 80s villain, 90s villain cringe, where you see him driving and he raises the gun up for just a brief second and just kind of pauses with it. And they just focus on it. And I thought, oh, what are we doing here? Like this, like, again, your peak was in the 90s, and we just can't capture that again. And people should have known that this wasn't going to be great when they were like, this is Spielberg's best film in the last 20 years. Well, in the last 20 years, I hate to remind everybody, but it hadn't all been great.
I think he should have quit with Ready Player One because that was a love letter to his fans, to the movies he's done in the past. And if he'd gone out on Ready Player One, I'm like, you know what, sir? Well done. We appreciate your service. Thank you for all the years of memories. But again, that movie was well done. It was well executed. I enjoyed that movie quite a bit. And I know he's done movies since then, obviously, but it's just, maybe you should have stopped then.
Yeah, I mean, and again, yeah, he did Fabelmans, and it got nominated.
West Side Story?
And yeah, West Side Story was not good.
No, but
I mean, Lincoln was probably one of his best that he's put out in the last 20 years. But again, we've had Dial of Destiny, Crystal Skull. I mean, the man has put out some stinkers before.
Yeah. It's just one of those things. No one bats 1,000 is what I say. I'm not going to say, oh, he's done, he's washed up. No one bats 1,000. Everyone's got a couple. You just mentioned a few that were not great. I mentioned West Side Story just because I was trying to think of movies he's done since Ready Player One. But yeah, that was not at all me endorsing West Side Story as a good movie. But Joey V, if you had to rank this movie in the pantheon of his, where would you put it? Top 5 of his movies? Middle pack? Bottom? Where would you stack
Probably
it up?
middle pack, where there's movies that I enjoy that I don't revisit enough. Like Minority Report is kind of a similar thing, where there's, shadowy government type stuff and a big chase scene, but I don't watch Minority Report that much.
Okay.
So right around there.
All right, yeah, I liked Minority Report. I mean, it was a little too Blade Runner-esque, but it still had enough original elements where I enjoyed that one. Janelle, same question to you. If you were going to put this in the Steven Spielberg rankings, where would this land for you approximately?
I would like middle to the lower. Excuse me. It's not his worst. I mean, we have, like I said, we have mentioned Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and Dial of Destiny. We have, like, even Jurassic Park Lost World was not good. So, like, I would definitely not put it at the bottom. There are some, like, if you ever just kind of Google, like, Steven Spielberg's worst movies, there are a lot that you probably don't even remember.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't go that far, but, like, middle to, like, lower middle. I definitely don't think, I mean, it fits around an average movie. Like, it's not awful. Like, oh, I've just got to turn this off, but it's just forgettable.
Yeah. I would put it toward probably my bottom 10 of his movies, honestly, because it just, other than Emily Blunt's performances, this just did not.
Do you think she'll be nominated? She's playing kind of two characters.
She did a great job. Honestly, her performance, had she not been in it and delivered the performance she had, this probably would have been a 1.5-star movie for me. This is not a movie that I will ever go back and rewatch. And that's the big thing that can.
Unless they replace the guns with walkie-talkies, then I'll watch it.
Well, there you go. Yeah, so and they have bikes instead of cars, Chrysler 300s. So I mean, just redo ET is what I'm saying. But again, I'm the biggest defender. I will go back and defend Kingdom of the Crystal Skull to this day. So I can't put that in my bottom 10. But anyway, thank you for joining us, Janelle. Let everyone know where they can find you, because you're always reviewing movies. You're talking about the Cardinals games. Where can people keep up with you?
It's HOLY_ELLE. That's Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all that stuff. You can find me there.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us. Again, I'm sure we'll have you on again to help us break down some movies. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys.
Thanks. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
I love you.
There she goes. And Joey V, thank you for doing this. Someone just pointed out in the 314 area code, Raiders of the Lost Ark just turned 45 years. Yeah, he made that movie. That was 45 years ago, but that's my very favorite movie of all time.
Something I did that was great. You should try it. I went out on the dock, put up a projector, and watched Jaws out on the dock at Lake of the Ozarks with the family, and that was just a wonderful experience.
That would be fun. That does sound like, see, you always know the fun things to do. That's going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and play our outro here. Just to let you know, Bugs, Comics, and Games, if you are wanting to get into the hobby or maybe divest yourself of the hobby, Bugs, Comics, and Games on Instagram and Facebook. If you go out there, let Larry know you're I'm wanting to get into some Supergirl comics. He'll point you right to where you want to go to get into reading some new Supergirl comics before that movie comes out here in a couple of weeks. New comics every Wednesday. Get out there and start a pull list. Join the Avengers Club so you can start saving money on your weekly comic books. That way you're not sacrificing your hobby in this economy. Bugs Comics and Games on Instagram. Give his Facebook page a like as well. Keep up with him there. He'll put stuff online that's for sale. You can buy it right there online, so you never have to leave your house, or maybe you're not in the greater St. Louis area and you can't get out to Bugs Comics and Games. Like him on Facebook, follow him on Instagram, Bugs Comics and Games. Proud to have him as the official comic book sponsor on Geek to Me Radio. That's going to do it for us. Until next week, my friends.
That's our show. This is Geek to Me Radio.
Thank you, Kansas City. Good night.
From